Welcome to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. Today we're going to learn how to make my mom's biscotti. And biscotti is an Italian biscuit slash cookie that was originated in the Tuscan city of Prato. So we're going to learn how to make this delicious almond biscuit, so stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back, and let's talk about the ingredients that you're going to need to make our delicious biscotti today. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need are 3 eggs. These are large size eggs. You're going to need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to need 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, 1 cup of almonds, and I get the sliced almonds. This is the Market Pantry brand. You'll need 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You're going to need a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, super important. And what I like to add to my biscotti, it's actually based on my mom's recipe, is 1 teaspoon of lemon zest and 1 teaspoon of orange zest. So you can get a zester, or I like to use the grater here. And I'm just gonna continue grating some of my orange zest here. I already did my lemon. And you just wanna make sure that you get approximately a teaspoon of each. And that looks good. So, and you're also going to need, super important, almond extract. You're going to use 1 tablespoon of almond extract. And then you're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that's what we're going to use to make our delicious almond Italian biscotti. So stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So we're gonna start making our dough for our biscotti. And this is really an easy recipe to follow. It's not hard at all. You're going to need 2 bowls. 1 bowl is going to be for your dry ingredients, and the other bowl is going to be for your wet ingredients like the eggs and the extracts. So we're going to start with the dry ingredients. So I have my 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm placing it in this bowl here. I'm also going to add my sugars. This again was 3/4 of a cup of white granulated sugar. And then this is a 1/4 of a cup of lightly browned sugar, And so I'm also going to add my a teaspoon and a half of baking powder and my 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to whisk those ingredients together like that. You want to make sure that it's all incorporated, it's very well mixed together. I think that looks good. Okay. I'm going to put my dried ingredients to the side, and now I'm going to get another bowl, and I'm going to crack my eggs and add my extracts and my lemon zest. So let's start. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I'm going to use my extracts, which once again, this is 1 tablespoon of almond. Now it is going to have a very strong almond flavor, but that's what you want. And then you're going to have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to add my zest, my orange and my lemon zest. You want to make sure you get every bit of that lemon and orange zest. And then your vegetable oil, which once again is a 1/2 cup. All right, so now I'm going to lightly whisk this together. I just love the way that almond smells. gonna be so good. Okay, so this is lightly whisked. And now we're going to add our dry ingredients. Okay, so now I'm going to add my flour. This is my dry ingredients to my eggs. And I'm just going to stir with a wooden spoon. Now, it gets to a certain point where you really need a lot of elbow grease, and you're really gonna work that dough. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to fold in my almonds. I'm gonna do a little bit at a time, probably about half at a time. And when you fold in, remember folding is not stirring. It's like you get your wooden spoon and you just kind of go into it and back out. It's kind of in and out. Okay, you don't want to just stir, stir, stir. It's kind of like in and out. All right. And now let me add the rest. This is gonna be so good, I cannot wait. Fold those almonds into that dough. I want to make sure it's nicely folded. Very well incorporated. Okay, that looks good. All right, notice how sticky the dough is going to be. That's exactly what you want. All right, I'm going to go wash my hands and then we're gonna start putting our log together, so stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So we have our dough made, and what I did, I got a cookie sheet right here, and I got some parchment paper. And parchment paper, you know, you can find this at any grocery store. And you wanna lay parchment paper right on top of the cookie sheet. And you're gonna dip your fingers, your hands, into some water. That's why I have this bowl of water here, all right? And you can use a spoon to scoop this out. I just like using my hands. And I kind of cut it in half already just by my hands, the dough. And I'm gonna be making 2 logs. So the logs, once again, let me get my hands into the water. And I'm going to just form them into kind of like 2 logs, just like this. I'm kind of flattening them, kind of pushing it together, just like that. I want them to look like 2 logs. This will of course get bigger in the oven, it will get larger, and there you go. So we have our 2 logs, as you can see. And I have an oven on 325 degrees. It's being preheated to 325 degrees. We're going to bake this for 30 minutes. Take it out of the oven, let it still kind of cook on the baking sheet for about 10 minutes, even that it's out of the oven. And once the 10 minutes is up, we're going to place it on a wooden board. We're going to cut them into a ½ inch thick kind of slices. And then I'm going to put them back on the cookie sheet, on the parchment paper, and we're going to put them back in the oven for an additional 15 minutes or so. Probably the longer you have them in the oven, the crispier they're going to be. But we're gonna do around 15 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna be placing this in the oven and we'll be back, so stay tuned. Okay, so I just checked on my biscotti and I left it in an additional 5 minutes. You really want to bake it until it's a golden brown. So it's been 5 minutes, so I'm gonna take it out of the oven right now. So you can see that this is golden brown. This is exactly what you want. And I'm going to leave it out on my counter for about 10 minutes. It's going to still cook on that pan. That pan is still hot. And then we're going to use a serrated knife, and we're going to slice them, and we're going to cut them into slices, and then we're going to put them back in the oven for about 15, maybe 20 minutes, so stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So it's been about 10 minutes, and now I'm going to place my logs, my biscotti logs, on top of a wooden board, and I'm going to use my serrated knife and cut them into slices. Then we're gonna add it back into the oven and let that bake for an additional 15 to 20 minutes. All right, so I have my biscotti here, and I'm going to just grab this one, place it on top of this wooden board, cutting board, and I'm just going to start cutting. You want them to be about a half an inch or so thick. It's still a little warm. I probably need to wait a couple more minutes, but I'm just gonna show you with the serrated knife how you just slice these. And then you can see, just like that, the slice. And we're going to add it back onto the parchment paper and, like I said, let it bake for an additional 15 to 20 minutes. So when we come back, they should be ready, so stay tuned. All right, so welcome back, and I just took out my biscotti. I had to get another tray, cookie sheet, and I put parchment paper on it. And this yields probably around 18 biscotti. So, oh, they look and smell so good. I am now transferring them to a wire rack so they can cool. Oh, look at this cute little one. Cute little biscotti there. And I'm transferring it to this wire rack. One more time, make sure that when you slice these, they should be around a half an inch thick or so. So I'm just gonna place them here. They look and smell fantastic. And believe me, they're gonna taste awesome too. Now, you can, these are so cute. You can dip these in chocolate if you would like, or the way I like to eat it is with some coffee. So you get your biscotti and you dip it into your coffee. Oh wow, so good. There is nothing better. I hope you enjoyed Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas today. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe and like this video. And until next time, happy cooking, bye-bye.